but so because it says waiting for a live signal. So
yeah. No, that usually means that somebody's not streaming anymore.
Okay.
On their end. So no viewers, new stream, just the last final stuff anyway.
Okay.
And you know what? It can be a blessing in disguise when that happens, because when I go live again, we might have lost the people we had, but it sends out a new notice to people that weren't watching. Oh, Randall's going live. So, might. So for anyone that's watching this, or now or later, this is a continuation. We got kicked off of our live. So you might want to go and find the previous video that got us to this point. Yeah, you found it again?
Found it again. Woohoo!
Okay, there we are. So I think I just want to...
Oh, look at you with the chain.
Oh yeah, you didn't get to see that. Any of that happening.
I didn't get to see that.
Oh, okay. Kind of went pretty quickly. It was fun. It was pretty straightforward.
So when this is replayed, will it be the whole thing, or is it?
When it's replayed, this will be a separate video now.
Okay.
So it'll be two different videos.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe I don't know if I'm gonna have time to go and stitch it together on any of the platforms. I might do it on YouTube at some point. I might stitch it together just to,
all right,
so that it's consistent.
Hi, Julie.
Hey, Julie. Thank you. Thank you very much. So yeah, for those that are new to this stream, we're just continuing on with what we were working on before. And we got kicked off the live. So we're coming back. We're probably picking up a few new people along the way.
Yeah, I agree with Matt's Eric, and
that's Christina, actually.
That's Christina.
Yeah.
It's things are really the changes that you made really have improved the portrait.
Yeah. Still not great, but being out of practice, that's to be expected. You're not going to do necessarily your best or most interesting work. And getting into this whole different flow of things. So yeah, it's a whole new challenge. Here we're playing with. Okay.
Well, when I've been away, for example, when I've been away from painting for a while, painting icons, well, then I practice my brush strokes.
Ah, yes.
So trying to get the thin brush strokes,
right?
Doing twirls, because the brush strokes themselves are important.
Mm-hmm.
So just training up your hand again, just saying, okay, we're bringing back the muscle memories.
Back when I was a sign painter, and I was back when I started off doing it by hand, and everything was like a single stroke, right? When you're lettering, and you had to know how to use that brush to get those variations and all that working. Absolutely, it's a big deal. Okay. I'm not feeling it.
What aren't you feeling? The color?
The color, and I'm trying to find what works here. I think that works better. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Creates a bit more depth. I think. What do you got for me?
I like the fact that in the background I'm pointing to the painting. I think in the background I like the fact that you sort of have shapes that are like by my face. It looks like there's people.
Yeah. Sometimes I like to just have, to keep the background a little bit activated to create some visual interest back there, but not enough that it steals anything. But also, if it can imply something, bring another layer of meaning to the piece. That can be pretty cool too.
Yeah.
I'm thinking. I need to bring in a few more nice darks into your here. I prefer to do them negative space, but this is fine as well at this point. Just too much detail there. Now. And that's the thing. It becomes not paint by number when you're making decisions as you do something and then decide, does it work, doesn't it work, doesn't it work, is there something better I could try something else.
Right.
Oh, I just wrecked everything. Okay, well, so it goes. Now I just got to keep going and try something new and play some more and play some more and play some more, right?
Right. Well, I tell all of my students we have a mantra that there's never a time when painting an icon that you can't fix it. That's believe it or not, tempera and iconography is quite forgiving. But then sometimes it does change that there's never a time when painting an icon that you shouldn't take it to the wood pile to be burned. There are some times when it's just you can't save it. Mm-hmm. And so chalk it up for experience, or the first days of class I usually teach people how to put paint on an icon, and then I also teach them how to take paint off an icon.
That's a great idea.
Because you can save the panel, you can use it again.
Beautiful thing about painting, you can paint over stuff. The painting of the dog I did, even a commission painting, I did it over.
Yeah.
A previous little thing that I just played with, and I just wanted.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, there, I think we needed to reduce the amount of detail there, and I'm going to. Should I bring in some? I'm going to bring in a bit of darkness there. Yes. There are times when you could just keep working on a painting and you could make it go, and you could struggle through, and it could be really successful. And I've even talked about some examples today where that's exactly great. But there are times when you cut your losses and you just go, okay, what if instead I took everything I learned from that, let that disaster go. Don't let it discourage me. Use that as a jumping off point for my next thing. Again, using all that I've learned and going with it.
Yeah, exactly. There was one poet who said a poem is never finished, only abandoned. And I think that's the same thing with painting.
I am liking this camera shake because depending on how I do it, everything else is like crazy, but the painting almost stays still. So
that's true.
kind of fun. I'm I guess right now the problem is that shoulder's not sitting right because of the color I added.
Yep.
This shoulder here, I feel like it's popping forward too much, and maybe
that one,
yeah. I think maybe if I make this cooler, so it recedes more, and the shoulder's got room to move back. Well, that's somewhat better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Is this overall too bright? Let's see what happens if I... Oop, that was a bit much, and not quite the right color. So this is a good example of where you just destroy everything at the last couple of minutes. But I'm not painting with an actual deadline today, which I do sometimes. Like I said, sometimes I've got an actual timer and a crowd of people watching me. Don't have that today. So you've been posting quite a bit about your work recently.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have a good following on social media?
I do. I wish I had. I wish I had an up-to-date web page. I haven't updated my web page since 2015 because I had this idea that I was putting too much out there, and I wanted to write a book. But that was 2015. I haven't done any writing, and so I'm trying to get that back up to date. I haven't actually painted since sometime in December because I've been reorganizing my studio. I got a donation of 8 boxes of books on iconography.
Wow.
And so I went, okay, well, we have to integrate these somehow. And having worked in libraries,
You got into the Dewey Decimal
got
System?
preoccupied with cataloging. And so I spent some time doing LC cataloging or Library of Congress cataloging and making sure all of the books in the studio have a call number, and because I'd like my library to be a lending library ultimately. And so I've got multiple copies of a couple of books, but at the same time, it's very usable now, and I can just sort it all out. If someone asks me for a book, well, then I can find it simply. And so that meant I had to get rid of some other storage and try to find places for things to fit. And so, and then as you probably feel, there are some times when you have to deal with the business side of the painting.
Oh, absolutely.
And so I've been dealing with contracts and commissions and trying to get that all sorted out. So I think finally I've got a handle on things regarding this one contract, so I can start doing the actual painting now. But yeah, it's I need to get back into posting more and painting more, but that's coming up because bills need to be paid. So people like to watch. People are. I like to post the fast-paced action videos, the time-lapse videos of me painting.
Yeah.
I think that's more. It doesn't give away all the secrets, but it's informative.
No.
So.
But the other thing you've got to realize is you can never give away all the secrets.
Right.
Like everything I've said, I could go back and go, yeah, sort of, but no, there's another side to that, and there's deeper to go, and that's just kind of the surface of the first thing that comes to mind, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. There's always more.
Yeah.
I'm discovering that a lot because I'm doing Q&A sessions now, and there's a lot of times when you go like, oh, well, what have I got left to say? Somebody asks a question, and going, oh, well, I haven't really talked about this ever before. Okay, I'm gonna, and suddenly off you go, and you got a whole new pile of things to talk about.
True. Well, then you kind of go brace yourself and
yes.
Lock in. Here we go. You asked the question. Yeah, I'm also working on. I started writing a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
Because I have some people who contact me. I can't resist not commenting sometimes on people's work. And so then they contact me and say, well, you got an opinion, so tell me how I should improve or how I can do this. And so I'm working on a book, which the title of which is "So You Want to Be an Iconographer."
Cool.
And so I'm essentially, it's more of a biographical, like this is how I did it.
Right.
And then I'm talking about the actual practical things. I don't know, I'm just writing, and maybe an editor will say, no, there's no market for this or what have you.
That's
But
not true. No. Like, put that thought out of your brain immediately. There's a market for everything, and I can see. I mean, you've got students all the time, right? So what makes you think that there's not a market to have a book that would support all your teaching, right? You've got a built-in audience right there.
I've also had suggestions that I should start up a Patreon.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
There's only so many hours in a day. That's the difficulty.
Right. Setting up a Patreon's easy. Driving people to it and then adding extra content for it that's only for them. If you just set up a Patreon and it's just, hey, here's the place to donate if you like my work, and some people just do that, then that's fine.
Right.
Then it's not a big management issue to deal with all the time. Okay, it's really neat listening to Dog Shop. Yes, okay. A really amazing artist instructor taught me that I don't get to decide what other people think of my art. Yeah, that definitely. I wonder who told you that. Yeah. No idea. Cool. Oh, hey, you commented with your lovely, there you go. Your lovely face is on there 3 times now. Okay. Yeah, this isn't, this is getting to the point where I'm stopping. I still see there's some me in there. And I bet if I took a screenshot, I'm going to do that right now. I'm going to take a screenshot. Where's the buttons? There they are. So I have something to work from. I might work, I turned you off. I didn't want to do that. Face ID, can you see me? Nobody saw it. Did you guys? You didn't see mine. Okay, cool. Okay, screenshotting. There we go. So I'll have something to work from if I decide to come back later and analyze it. I mean, I these days, I could actually overlay it in Photoshop and go, yeah, that eye does need to be moved up, because that's kind of one thing that's bugging me a bit. Not sure.
Which eye is bugging you?
But I think it might not be the eye. It might be the eyebrow. Could be simply that needs to be adjusted a bit. There we go. Even that helps. There's always a whole slew of subtleties. Mm-hmm. And you can just keep painting forever and don't.
Yep.
Finish it up. Okay, so I'm going to do the thing I'm worst at. And that is, I'm going to sign it after I mess it up a few more times here. I shouldn't be giving so many false endings here.
You're being very orthodox. Orthodoxies have like 3 different endings. It's like, let us depart in peace in the name of the Lord, and then 10 minutes later,
people are up and go in and they're like, oops, no, he's not done.
He's not done. Psych. Yeah.
Psyched. And you can still see the blue underpainting popping through in a lot of places, and it still informs and pulls things together a bit. So that was a good choice. Yep, I'm going to need some breathing space with this, and it might be best, even if I see something later on, just to leave. I am kind of loving this. Oops. Yeah, okay. I'm loving this little bit right here. I'm kind of loving this bit here.
I agree.
I think I'm loving that. I don't love that, but that's kind of cool. I think I could do it better. I need to do it more direct. And there's some areas where I'm just fudging too much, and this was so direct and nice. And if you look at that as just a little abstract painting all on its own, it's actually kind of
Yes.
fun there. And I'm going, oh, I don't know if I want to sign over top of that. Maybe I'll sign over here instead. Okay.
Do you always sign on the right, or do you sometimes sign on the left? Or?
For years and years and years and years, art college and beyond, I never signed anything. So that's why I still don't have any kind of cool signature or anything. It's just like stupid block letters. And it's just my first name.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you should make a chum.
A what?
One of those Japanese or Chinese seals.
That would be appropriate. I'm loving my Chinese, my Japanese connection. Well, I've actually got lots of connections elsewhere. I have a workaway person coming along within a week or so, and they are from Japan, and hopefully I'll get to improve my Japanese a little bit.
Konnichiwa.
Top of your glasses are too high.
Are they?
Yeah. I don't think there's any way they could be up there. I think I have to fix those.
Well, where do you see the top of my glasses?
I've got them and they're way up there. They're way in the wrong place. Now I see? Told you. Sign something and then suddenly... And that actually changes things significantly. If I bring those down, we're going to see something different happen here. Oh, I don't know if I can use this brush. It looks like it's not going to be happy with this. Let's go back to the one I've been using for most of the painting. And let's see where the bottom, if you can look up for me for a second. Figure out where the bottom is. Yeah, and now you can answer your call or whatever you got going on there. It's all good. Okay. Oh, this white paint is getting pretty thick now.
I'm amazed that you've managed to keep your colors as liquid as they are.
I use a fair bit of water and mix as I'm going along. It is true.
What brand do you use for?
I and it's one of the few that I know that actually have these colors even available because it's a non-traditional palette. Very non. Yeah. It's like it's actually it's kind of color of science color palette.
Okay.
Really, it's printing what the colors that are typically used in printing presses, and
yes, exactly.
The reason I use them is they give you the widest possible gamut with the fewest number of paints, so I can have very few paints on my palette. Like I used to have, every time I painted, I'd get 20 paints on my palette. You know, it'd just be this cacophony, and I didn't feel like things would my colors would just be all over the place, and this just gives me a lot more unity. And the other thing is, a lot of people like to not have to mix all their colors as they go. I actually kind of enjoy that a lot. And so you look at my palette, I don't have any pools of any particular color sitting on my palette right now. It's just a cacophony. Like, let's see here. So that's what it's looking like. So it's not like I get on my palette and I mix a bunch of this color and then I use it over and over again. I'm mixing as I go. And that can end up being more of a cacophony and a little bit less unified. Absolutely. Is that danger? But it's just me, how I like to do this. And if you've been watching and expecting that I'm finished and you are waiting for me to finish before you leave, I give you permission to go at any point. With my full blessing, because...
Thanks. No, I'm fine. I don't have to go anywhere.
I now have that screenshot, so I'm good to go.
Yeah.
Should I need to do anything more? Yeah. Okay. I think this steals too much attention. We're gonna just bring that down a bit.
What? Where do you see it stealing too much attention?
This your glasses, just that one bit of super strong darkness right there, close to your eye. It also helps to bring a bit of focus into that focal point, but at the same time, it was too much. Oh, are your glasses? They're metal or are they brown? What color are they? I'm not sure what I'm seeing there.
They're metal and brown, but you have a bug in your hair.
I have a bug in my hair.
You have a bug in your hair.
In my hair?
In your hair.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those
gone now, I think.
The maple bugs.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. As soon as I heat up the house, they go, oh. And this is gonna. Here's the thing too about this. I'm working in acrylic, and it's already the colors are dulling as I'm painting them. Right. I'm gonna varnish this, and this thing is gonna sparkle. I'm gonna put a semi-gloss, or what should we call it? Is it semi-gloss? Anyway.
Yeah, or a satin.
Satin on there, and it is going to start to sparkle again. Bring back some of the freshness of the paint, and I think that's. Who knows what cables I might be stretching here. But it'll bring back some of that freshness in the painting. Mm-hmm. I should grab this out now. There we go. So it actually is looking better on this camera. For some reason, I don't know why. That looks better to me. Okay, so I think that's the done deal for today. Let's just check if anybody had any questions or comments here before we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, we lost connection, guys, and then we came back. So it's two different videos. If you're going back to look again, this video doesn't have the beginning of the painting. The other one does. It's most of the time. Thank you for listening to us talk. Yes, and who else is enjoying the talk? Cool. Thank you. I don't even know who you are, Facebook user. You might want to mention your name. Get my Japanese initials. They're agreeing with you on that one. What happens is if you join from my private group, I think it doesn't show your name. How you use technology to help you with your work. Never thought about overlaying it in Photoshop. Absolutely, you can do all sorts of things these days. Sometimes I'll take another idea. I'll take a photo of a painting that I have doubts about what I want to do with it. I'm not sure what I want to do with the background and afraid of maybe overlaying too much paint, especially if I'm working thinner or something like that. I'll literally photograph it, take it into Photoshop, and paint the other stuff. Try different colors in the background. And I haven't done this a lot, but I've thought about it a lot. But if I was painting more, I think I might do it more. And just, why not? Why not use the technology? You don't see me in the painting now at all. Okay, I think it is way more him. And the big changes were the nose, lengthening the cheeks, thinning the mustache down a little bit, bringing in the part where we can see his chin through the beard, and then changing the eye, the level of the glasses, bringing the eyebrow up a bit. There are a few other things there. Yes, and Deb is particularly thanking you Father Vlad, for the iconography stuff. Oh, hi.
Oh, you're very welcome, Jeff.
And Cheryl, it's you. Hi. Good to have you here. In Procreate, something else I do, Deb, quite because I'm teaching online all the time these days, and I've been doing this for about a year now or more. No, 2 years. Is when students have their work and they'll show it to me, I'll grab a screenshot or have them send me the photo however they want to send it. I pop it into, I use at this point Adobe Fresco more than Procreate, but Procreate could do the same thing. I pop it in there and then I grab things and I twist them and stretch them and move them up a little bit, and then I erase this part and I draw this part and I show them how to improve the drawing by actually doing it with their drawing. And the beauty of it is I'm not actually destroying their drawing or doing anything to it. They're having a separate reference, and they also have the video to watch. And that was one of the major tools I used in teaching my mother how to draw. It really made a huge difference. So these tools are amazing for us. So yeah, Procreate would be another tool that could be used for the digital part of things. Okay. Let me know either now or in the comments. Do you want me to do this again? Is there a particular time that works better for you? Cool idea. Yeah. Just let me say the difference is there's the difference between going, oh, that eye's a little off. You need to move it in a little bit and turn. It's angled a little bit, and it should be a little bit smaller, and there's a little too much shading underneath and need a little more above it. And I'll come back half an hour later and they'll go, hey, is this what you meant? And I'm like, no, not exactly. I don't think you quite understood what I was saying. Okay, I gave you too many things at once. Okay, let's try this again. I'll give you one thing to work on. But showing it to them, and again, having that replay, and they can go through every stage of it. They can compare against it. They can, and not that, exactitude is everything, but at a learning stage, I try to teach people that if we can get the shapes down and learn how to replicate the shapes in front of us, that's going to give us a great foundation to do whatever we want to do later on, whether it's abstract work or anything else. So I got one vote to do it again. You might be the only one still active. Oh, we got 7 people on, maybe. One of them is him. He's still on there too. So.
I'm still here.
So you're one of the 7. Yeah, and I'm looking at you over my shoulder here. I should, if that phone wasn't about to bonk me in the head. There we go. Now we're all in here again. Oh, and now we get some trash off of YouTube with someone else. I might even do a self-portrait. I know there's some. I was looking at one artist recently who basically does like a self-portrait a day. I don't think I can do that. And I think maybe once a year, or I've done so many in my life because I haven't had. There's lots of times I've been in quite a bit of solitude, not just with pandemic, and I ended up painting. I don't know how many in art college, quite a few. That was kind of an unplanned brilliance. The fact is, he's going to. Are you going to? You're going to paint me an icon, right?
Yes.
Of
Saint Luke painting the first icon of the Virgin Mary.
Wow. And we're doing an exchange. I think that's a steal of a deal for me. I think that I owe him big time. But maybe we're getting him a little exposure here. If you ever want to, he paints private and public. He's done church, like you just did this huge job. Where was that at? And it's
in St. Herman of Alaska Orthodox Church in Edmonton.
And the process is all on his Facebook. And he posted piles of time-lapse videos and information, and he showed the problems, and the gold foil not working properly, right, was a big one.
Yep.
And having to redo a bunch of that. Yeah. So I encourage you to go, and they will find you. Why don't you type it into the chat, and I'll put it right on the screen.
Okay. Well, what I'll do is when I go to paint the icon for you, I will make a recording, as imperfect as I usually do, and I will post that on my YouTube channel.
Well, Christina says she's all about that, and so does Deb. So that would be fantastic. What's your YouTube? Why don't you type in all your social media stuff, and I'll pop it up on the screen here so people can find your stuff.
Well, my YouTube channel is private, so only when I post something, then I'll give you the link.
Okay, cool. So you guys are gonna have to come back to me for the link, and I guess. Is that how it's going to work?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll figure it out.
Well,
I haven't.
I could share.
This is all new.
I could share it with just a few people. I could share it with my whole private group. My private group is now over 500, but woohoo! I don't know how many are actually active. There's a few that are super active. Christina here's one of them. Donna was on earlier. She probably couldn't stick with us. They're kind of the first ones to join that were active right from the beginning, and and now a lot of people are just joining because they want to know when I'm going to be doing my next drawing workshop. My free drawing workshop is coming up. I haven't announced it yet. It'll be in about 2 weeks, and you will learn to draw in 3 hours of instruction, hour and a half over 2 evenings. You will make amazing advances, and then after that I've got other classes. Except most everyone that's currently on them here doesn't need to know that, but other people do. We're going to hopefully watch later, but they won't be watching the very end of it either. Or maybe they'll skip. They'll go beginning, a little bit of the middle, and then jump to the end. Okay, so we're going to finish up here. There's Father Vlad, and wow, I'm kind of liking that. I think I can paint maybe a little bit. Just a little. Mm-hmm. Is your hat tall enough? Your hat probably isn't quite tall enough. Oh well, maybe.
Well, that's all right.
Maybe I'll make it.
It's the angle of the camera. That's all.
Oh, there we go. It's working for me though. Okay, so we'll figure out how to get that painting to you. Like I said, I'm gonna varnish it. It's gonna pop some of the colors back, and away we go. Okay.
Well, let's do this. You keep it. And when I come out, I'm going to be out in Alberta in May.
Excellent.
And I will bring you your icon.
Well, cool. That means this is going to show up on a few of my videos in the backgrounds, probably. So that's kind of a cool thing that's going to happen as well. So there you go. So if any of you have specific things you would like to see me doing, drawing or painting, digital artwork, etc., I consider that stuff all the time when I'm putting together new things. This was a specific request from... I came out of a conversation, I think I was asking you for an icon, and you said, well, do a painting of you. And I said, well, if I'm going to do a painting of you, I'm going to do it live. And take the plunge. So there we go.
Yes, we were talking about my private collection of your work. And you said, I better have something of yours.
Yeah. Yep. I was a little bit jealous. So there you go. Okay. Need to call it quits.
Very good.
And thank you for everyone for being here. Thank you, Father Vlad, for posing for me.
You're very welcome. It was a great pleasure. And I'm so happy to have been part of this and be able to see your work. Cool. Your work live, how you do it. This has been great.
Christina says groovy. From her, that's the highest praise she can give. All right.
Awesome.
Thanks all. We'll see you.